What's going on, everyone? CJ back here with another episode of the Madden 23 Cupcake Relocation Franchise. So this week we're going to do kind of like a hybrid type of episode. I want to do a big deep dive into the draft class. I want to show you guys some of these prospects because there appears to be some really intriguing and possibly really good prospects, and we haven't looked too deeply into those guys yet. So we're going to go through a bunch of the players that I have favorited on my favorites board. Going to introduce you guys, acclimate you guys with some of the players that's going to be coming up in the draft, which we hope to win on that draft. We hope to score a lot of good players because we all know this team definitely needs it. If you don't want to watch the draft prospects deep dive, which is probably going to be the first half of this episode, we are still going to play the Miami game. I'm probably going to flash forward to the second half of that game once we're done looking at the prospects. If you don't want to watch the prospects, you can skip ahead with the chapters below to go straight to the Miami game, but please don't. I highly encourage you to take a look at this draft because, like I said, there's some really good players, and I honestly have no idea what direction we're going to go with this draft. It could go many different ways. So before we do that, just want to talk briefly about last game. Last game, if you watched it, we did pull out a dub against the Commanders. That felt good. We got our third win of the season. Troy Pride Jr., our terrible corner, got his breakout DB scenario. He got upgraded to star development, and now we have a breakout linebacker scenario.
Yes.
Now this could either be Danny Trevathan, Jordan Evans, or Quincy Roche. I'm guessing it's probably going to be Roche because he did have a sack last week. I believe he also had a TFL in there as well. But let's take a look and see who our breakout linebacker is going to be. It is Quincy Roche. So, Coach, I got to commend you on the game plan last week. Thank you. The front seven absolutely dominated their blockers. They did, and it was one of the best performances I've ever had. If I can put together a game like that against the Finns, it'll go a long way toward establishing me as a leader on this team. So the game day goal is going to be hold the Dolphins to less than 250 total yards. That's passing, rushing, anything, or get Quincy Roche one interception, forced fumble, tackle for loss, or a sack. I believe we can do this. Quincy Roche has had some pretty good moments in this franchise, and that's the fun thing about doing this Cupcake franchise. You know, a lot of the players that we took in episode 1 weren't very good, but some of those guys get a chance to step up, make a name for themselves on this team, like Troy Pride, and you know, they may stick around for the long haul. So will Quincy Roche be one of those players? He could be, maybe not. I think that all depends on what happens today. We also have a couple of upgrades, of course. Troy Pride Jr., he's going to get a bunch of experience from last week.
Bruh.
He has 3 upgrade points, so we're going to dump, I think, 2 of those into man, and we're also going to dump 1 of those into slot. See if we can get his overall up a little bit. It did shoot up 1 point there. He's now a 73, actually a 74. He's playing down to a 73 because of morale. And now actually Troy Pride is a true 75 rated player. Got a couple good upgrades there with the slot archetype and the man-to-man archetype. And Troy Pride is now a 75 rated corner. So even though he's been getting cooked, burnt like toast this season, if you will, he might be able to stick around. John Menchie III hasn't played this year. He's been injured, and we might actually be able to use him as trade stock. So we'll get his upgrade up a little bit. We might be looking to move up in some of these rounds. Also, before we dive into the draft, just want to give a big shout out. I got his jersey on today. My man, I'll let you see it. My man, Clinton Dick. Because I got his jersey on for 2 reasons today. 1, because he's played great on our team. And 2, he just retired today. He signed, and I thought this was really cool. He signed a 1-year contract with the Packers so he could retire a Green Bay Packer. Clinton Dix, my man, got his bobblehead right here as well. Got the bobblehead, the jersey. So maybe in this game against the Finns, even though Ha's retiring in real life, his legacy can live on here in the Cupcake franchise. But all that aside, here is the upcoming draft prospects so far that I have favorited on my draft board. So let's take a look at these guys. Now, of course, we all know, if you've been watching this season, Damon Sanders, probably the best quarterback that's in the upcoming draft. He has some good key ratings. He has A, throw under pressure, B, deep accuracy. He's a really, really good athlete too. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I'm not a huge fan of is his throw power, which is probably the most important trait to have for a quarterback. But everything else, his speed, his strength, his agility, his acceleration, they all look to be really, really good. He is a scrambler archetype, which is nice. And his traits look to be just overall really, really solid. A, awareness, A, play action, A, under pressure throw, B, deep accuracy. The medium accuracy and the short accuracy, we don't really know too much. It could be anywhere from a B to a D in the medium or an A to a C in the short. But overall, I think that Damon Sanders would be a huge step up from obviously Cam Newton, but also Brett Hundley too. And I don't really like any of the other quarterbacks that's in the draft this year. Now, the first round, I do not know which route I'm going to take. So Keegan McGriff, we made him a focus player to get a little bit more info revealed on him. Now, he is a 6'2" corner from Clemson, so really, really good size. He's only 22 years old, man-to-man archetype. B, man coverage, I love. A, catching, I love. B, press, I love. D, zone coverage, not too wild about that. So he looks to be like kind of one of those lockdown man-to-man corners. His athletics also look pretty good as well. He has good to great speed, which I love. Great to elite jumping, which is tremendous. And good to great acceleration. His traits look pretty good too all around, like I said, except for that zone coverage. That's the only thing that kind of scares me a little bit about Keegan McGriff, but everything else looks really, really solid, and he's now 80% scouted. Another prospect that looks to just be a beast is Jaylen Burnett. I talked about him earlier in the franchise. He's a power rusher archetype. Check this out. A power rusher archetype that also has B, finesse moves. I mean, come on now. Talk about a double-edged sword. Talk about a two-headed dragon here. He also has A, tackling also, and pretty solid athlete. I mean, nothing that's going to make you jump out of your seat, but just still really, really good. And his skills just look also really, really good too. The things that we know about him are great. The A, power moves, the A, tackling, the B, finesse moves, the B, awareness, and some of these other traits. It looks like, you know, aside from his stamina and maybe pursuit too, everything else can be at least a C minimum. I guess impact blocking, but depending on where the rest of these traits fall in this A to C categories here, Jaylen Burnett could be a beast, maybe even a top 5 talent. I don't know. Now, I'm a little bit upset about this. Madden kind of sucks, even though I'm playing it, doing a whole series about it. I've been playing it since Madden 05. I mean, we made Tony Baldwin another focus player, but it didn't give us our additional completion. He still shows at 50% completion, which is also what he had last week. So that focus, you know, draft thing doesn't really still work 100%. We got it for Keegan McGriff. Keegan McGriff is at 80%, but Tony Baldwin and then the other tight end that I also made a focus player as well, he didn't get it either. So that kind of sucks, kind of a waste. But Tony Baldwin is kind of like the curveball that's going to get thrown at me in this draft, because he has a chance. He could maybe be a generational tight end. I don't know. But look at his athletics. I mean, everything except for strength and acceleration is great to elite. Now, that is just incredible. He's a 6'6", 250-pound tight end from Notre Dame, and his skills look extremely good too. He's got B, short route. He's got B, catching traffic. He's got B, stiff arm. The medium route is B to D, so we don't know that. Same with the deep route. Catching, worst it could be, is a C. So, I mean, depending on where some of those fall, maybe he won't be generational, but I would bet you that Tony Baldwin is going to be at least in the low 80s. Remember this episode, because when the draft comes around, we're gonna go back and we're gonna see if this was true. But I think Tony Baldwin, now they project him round 1 to 2. I can tell you right now, if Tony Baldwin is still available in the second round, we will be taking him. If the season ended today, which of course it doesn't, we still got a handful of games left to play, we would have the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and we would have the 25th overall pick from Cleveland. Cleveland Browns playing really, really well in this franchise. I kind of wish they weren't, so our draft pick could be a little bit higher, but we would have the 3rd and the 25th pick. So, you know, we might have to look to trade up a little bit if we want to get some of these guys, all these guys that we want. Maybe potentially do a trade for one of our first round picks next year. We got John Menchie, we got Tavier Thomas. We could use those guys as potential trade bait. So it could go a few different ways. Now, as we progress down the board a little bit, we have Pat Allen. This guy looks to be a beast too, projected to go in the 2nd to 3rd round. He's a pass coverage archetype, 6'1" from LSU. This guy was literally built in a lab. I mean, he is not a human being. Shout outs to my man Lil Wayne. He's got great to elite acceleration, great to elite agility, great to elite change of direction, great to elite speed, good to great jumping. I mean, look at all those great to elites. And then his skills, he's a pass coverage archetype, which is great because remember, that middle of the field, that's where we've been getting torn to shreds at this season. And the linebackers, when they're in zone coverage, or even in man coverage for that matter, they play a big role protecting that middle of the field. So he's got B man coverage, and zone is also going to be at worst a B. A awareness, so he's always going to know what's going on. The finesse moves and the power moves aren't that great, but that's okay because that's not Pat Allen's game. Pat Allen's game is to get out there and pass coverage. Now, Jamal Spence, who's a projected top 5 pick, so if he really goes in the top 5, I can almost guarantee that we're not going to pick him. He does look to be a pretty good player. The opposite of Allen, he's a power rusher with A tackling. His athletics are just okay to decent to kind of teetering on the not so good range. But I mean, he does have good traits, but probably would. I mean, I can tell you right now, Jamal Spence and Jah Hyde, both of these guys, there's no way that I would pick them top 5 just because we need corners, we need quarterbacks, we need defensive tackles. I guess I shouldn't say that I guarantee I wouldn't, but it's highly unlikely. Now, keeping the focus, keeping the theme at linebackers here, we also have Johnny Drescher. Now, he's 6'5", good size, good build. He's a speed rusher, Texas Longhorn, and this guy's also a pretty good athlete, not as good as Pat Allen, but his skills probably a little bit better. So he's got A tackling, which is great, B finesse moves, and C power moves. His coverage, man and zone, isn't that great, although if man ended up being a C and zone ended up being a D, I would live with that. But he's kind of the opposite of Pat Allen. He's a rusher. He's going to be trying to get in the backfield and get to the quarterback, which we also need to. As of late, we have been able to generate a lot more pressure, but towards the beginning of the season, if you guys have been watching since the beginning, we were never able to get to the quarterback. I mean, quarterbacks like Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, and Russell Wilson, and Justin Herbert, they had all day to throw against us. It was very frustrating. So Johnny Drescher, he could be another option as well. Sidney Wilbur, really good free safety, although since we got my man here, Clinton Dix, he's been playing really well. So safety isn't anything that I would be, really trying to make moves and making power moves to go after. Sidney Wilbur does look good. Now this gentleman right here, I talked about him, Chuck Lamontagne. I talked about him in an earlier episode. In the 2nd to 3rd round, if he's available, I would almost have to pick him. Very good left tackle, tremendous athlete. I mean, look at that. Again, all those great to elites. In my experience with drafting, since Madden changed to this new draft system, which I do like for the most part, in my experience, the guys who have really, really great athletics are typically the ones who have hidden development. Not always the case, but if you get somebody in the lower rounds, like 2nd to 3rd, or even day 3 for that matter, and you start seeing great to elite, good to great, a lot of times, I would say 7 times out of 10 maybe, those guys end up being hidden dev players. So Chuck Lamontagne, great athlete. He's got B pass block, C run block, but A run block finesse, A lead block, A to C pass block finesse. Guards, tackles, our offensive line, we know about those guys. They're super, super suspect. And like I said, if old Chucky boy is still here in the second or third round, I would be hard pressed to not pick him. Jay Easley, really good wide receiver. Now, again, he's projected to go in the first round. I don't think that I would take a wide receiver in the first round. But if I did, it would probably be Jay Easley. He's a playmaker, 6'1", Oregon Duck. His skills look really, really good. He's got A medium route. He's got B short route, B catching, A to B break tackle, which is awesome. A to B juke move, kind of like maybe like a Kadarius Toney type of player, possibly. Maybe not as good as Toney. Kentrell Hardison, another wide receiver here. Now, this guy's projected to go 1 to 2. So in the second round, receiver could be an option. This guy looks pretty good as well. He's got B deep route, B release, which is good, B catching traffic. Great to elite speed. I mean, he's a really, really good athlete. Better athlete than Jay Easley. He's got great to elite speed. Everything else besides strength is good to great, which is awesome. B deep route running, which is really, really good. B spec catch, B catching traffic. Don't like the medium route or the short route for that matter, being an F or a D, or the catching. Kind of reminds me of like a Marquez Valdez-Scantling type of guy from the Packers. And we got some more receivers here, as well as some other linebackers that look to be pretty good. Kirk Lucas. He's a middle linebacker, which, we have old Danny Trevathan, who hasn't really played up to expectations this year. So middle linebacker could also be a focus as well. Now, he's a field general archetype, 6'3". He's got B zone coverage, which is good, and B tackle. Pretty good athlete, nothing crazy. He wasn't built in a lab. He was built next door to the lab. He's still pretty good, but he's got B zone coverage, which is great. A to C man, also really good too. So he can cover up the running backs. He can play spy. He can drop back in, a curl flat type of situation, and also B tackling. So, and then the finesse and the power moves. Now here's where Kirk Lucas gets interesting, and I might give him a private workout when it comes to that time. Finesse moves and power moves, B to D. If those ended up being Bs, I would probably take Kirk Lucas. If they end up being Ds, I might not. But if they end up being Bs, he would be a really, really well-rounded player. Keeping the theme at linebacker, there's a lot of good linebackers in this draft class here. Colby Washington. Now, this guy is pretty interesting. So he's a pass coverage archetype, right? We've seen a few of those, but take a look at his skills. A man coverage, A to B zone coverage, and he's projected to go round 2 to 3. So he's kind of like Pat Allen in the sense that he's a really good pass coverage linebacker. But if he's still around in the third round, Colby Washington could be a steal, man. Bruce Joyner, a little upset. I made him a focus player last week. We didn't get any additional scouting on him, which sucks, because I really, really wanted to know more about him, because he's projected to go round 3 to 4. And he looks to be really good. Not a great athlete. He's okay. But his skills, this is why we need more info, which I didn't get. The stuff we know is good. A short route, A spectacular catch, A awareness. But it's the stuff that we don't know. Those A to C's, man. I need to know about those A to C's. If he's got A to B in pass blocking, catching in traffic, deep route running, this guy would be an absolute steal in the third or fourth round. But because Madden is still a little bit broken and we didn't get our additional info, I don't know those things. Now, do I burn a private workout on him even though I already made him a focus player? I don't know. I can tell you that I don't want to do that, but we might have to do that. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes, but I'm still very, very interested in Bruce Joyner. EA, fix your game. You've done a lot of good things, but there's still a lot of things that don't work right. Going on down here to center, we got Zach Faulkner projected to go second to third round. We are going to get Justin Britt back off of injury, which is nice, but he's getting a little bit elderly. He's kind of like an elder statesman, and the center that we have now, Lamont Gaillard, hasn't done jack squat, so might be nice to have another center, up-and-coming center. Zach Faulkner, looks to be just that. He's got really good traits, really good athlete in pretty much all categories, and the run blocking and the pass blocking, worst case scenario, there'll be a C, which, in the third round, you would live with that. But if they're closer to the A to B range, he could be an absolute steal as well. Offensive line is definitely something that we really need to get better at. I think that's been apparent Corey Meredith, really good halfback, but with the addition of Tony Pollard, I just couldn't see myself drafting a halfback in the first round or even the second for that matter. Here's where things get a little bit interesting. So we have these three amigos here, the guards, Montrell Sullivan, Ladarius Ford, Jimmy Banks. They're all projected to go in the 3rd to 4th round, and they all look really good. So Montrell Sullivan, a really, really great athlete. So again, remember, a lot of times that means hidden development, but take a look at this. B pass blocking, B run blocking, B run block finesse, B pass block finesse, A to C pass block power. I mean, you get a guy like that in the 4th or even the 3rd round for that matter. He could be a diamond in the rough. Same with his buddies here. Ladarius Forbes, kind of the same type of player. Not as good as an athlete as Sullivan, but still pretty good, especially for being this late of a projection. But his traits look good as well. Kind of identical to Montrell Sullivan. B pass blocking, B run blocking, B run block finesse, B pass block finesse. I'll probably take one of these guys in the 4th round. You got to figure one of them would probably still be available, right? Same with Jimmy Banks. He's an agile archetype, just like the others. Still a pretty good athlete. Nothing really wrong with his athletics. Everything looks great. And kind of the same trend. B pass block, A to C run block. If that's an A, that would be really, really nice. Guards in the 4th round. Yes, please. Sign me up. 3rd to 4th round, good offensive lineman. I am here for that all day. Josh Frey, defensive tackle. Really, really good player. He's 6'5", out of Boise State, speed rusher, and pretty good athlete. You know, a lot of things he's got going for him there. And just overall solid player. C power moves, A finesse moves, which I love. That's a good combo. B tackling, B block shedding. So defensive tackle, you know, we could definitely stand to get a little bit better in that area. We got some ends and we got some free safeties down here. Nobody that was really crazy that I had my eye on too much. This is a good tackle that's projected to go in the 1st to 2nd round. Rayshawn Clay. Now this big old burly fella, 6'8", great size for a tackle, 320-pound Miami Hurricane. Really good traits. B pass blocking, B run blocking, A run block power. Not really a great athlete though, which kind of scares me, but his raw traits are really, really good. The pass blocking's there, the run blocking's there. So Rayshawn Clay, I might want to move him up a little bit higher on my draft board because he could be a potential option. Now, as far as backs go, we got some backs here that are projected to go later on down the board that are some good power backs. Now, power back, I was thinking about this, would be a really good complement to Tony Pollard's game. Pollard's more of that agile, elusive, I'm going to break your ankles and send you to the ER type of player. These power backs like Dom Fitzpatrick here would be good to bring in, you know, some of the shotgun situations or some of the 3rd down situations. And Dom Fitzpatrick, a day 3 projection, which means, you know, round 5, round 6 potentially, looks to have pretty good traits for being that low of a projection. So he's got great to elite jumping, good to great acceleration, good to great strength. And then his skills look pretty good. Again, he's a power back. So we got A break-in tackle, which means he's going to be shoving defenders aside, which is always nice to see. A carrying, which means he's going to secure the ball, not fumble it a lot. B ball carrier vision. He's going to be able to find that hole and hit it. B trucking. I mean, I like that, you know. Dom Fitzpatrick. There's a couple other guys on here somewhere down the board that I have here that are also power backs. Lance Lewis is one of them. Justin Harris is one of them. These guys, day 3, I would definitely be all for taking a day 3 power back. I would have no qualms with that whatsoever. And, you know, other than that, I'm not going to go through all these guys. We'll take a deeper look at them once we get actually into the draft. The guys that I was really intrigued with, I have higher up down the board. But we do have some UDFAs here. Yes, I did go through all the undrafted free agents, took forever, but some of these UDFAs, you never want to forget about these guys because, again, great athletics usually equal hidden depth, and I have drafted a good handful of UDFAs who they might not have been too high on their overall, you know, their raw skills might not have been that good, but you can develop raw skills. You can't develop athletics, so if they have the athletics, I like to take them if they're still available in the 7th round, even the 6th round. sometimes. So Travis Bonner's a free safety. He's a potential UDFA. Okay athlete, nothing crazy, but C man coverage, B to D zone. If that's a B or even a C, I would take him as a UDFA. A to C catching is pretty good. B hit power. So as an undrafted free agent, Travis Bonner could be, you know, a really good option. Same with Andrew Singer. So if some of those tight ends that we have our eyes on, like Baldwin, some of those guys, if they end up getting stolen before we have a chance to grab them, Andrew Singer could be a good option to go as a late 6th rounder, 7th rounder. Again, okay athlete, nothing crazy, but his raw skills are really good. B, medium route running. A, catching traffic. B, spectacular catch. C, deep route running. That stuff is really, really good. So Andrew Singer, you know, he could be a potential option. Same with Zach Smith, the wide receiver. He's a deep threat archetype, so deep route running is a B. Good to great speed, which is awesome. Great to elite acceleration, which is even more awesome. Good to great change of direction. As an undrafted free agent, I would take him. You know, he's going to be a deep threat all the way. His short route running's not that good. Medium's probably not going to be that good, but you know, he could be a steal late round. So that is a more in-depth look at the draft class. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think I should do in the first round. We got Damon Sanders. We got Jalen Burnett. We got Keegan McGriff. Tony Baldwin's there. We got some linebackers that are projected to go top 5. So let me know what you think. We're going to have a lot of different options, and it's going to be a heck of an off season, guys. It's going to be a heck of a draft. If you've been following me so far in this Cupcake franchise, don't go anywhere because things are going to get really, really interesting really, really quick. So there's your 2023 draft class. Good to get to know those guys a little bit better. See what we're going to have working with. We're going to go ahead and flash to the second half of this Miami Dolphins game. Should be a good one. They got Tua, they got Jaylen Waddle, they got Tyreek Hill, they got a lot of speedsters on their team. Myles Gaskin. We just came off of a win. We got a breakout linebacker scenario with Quincy Roche. A lot on the line here, and we're 3-7, so we're moving on up. We have a chance to potentially pass the Titans if we could somehow win this game. So I will see you guys in the second half. So first half wasn't pretty. It's a 21-0 blowout, unfortunately. Tua having a very good game, 3 touchdowns. Brett Hundley, on the other hand, just a stellar, just an amazing 26.6 quarterback rating, only completing half of his passes, and he has 2 interceptions, both by the corner, Xavier Howard. So it has just been very, very difficult. Dolphins pass rush is just insane in this game. I don't know what's going on. Justin Rohrwasser has a missed 37-something yard field goal attempt. Mike Gesicki mossed us in the end zone, closing out, getting close to halftime. Jaylen Waddle playing great. Dolphins just doing whatever they want right now. So we do get the ball. I guess that's the one saving grace, but we haven't been able to do jack, and Dolphins have been able to do whatever they want. So things are ice cold for us here in sunny Florida. Got to change that trend now. I hate to say it, but we might have to bring back Cam Newton, give him another shot. See if riding the bench there for a few weeks, maybe he learned his lesson. Tony Pollard had a nice run. Tony Pollard's had an okay half, but it's been tough sledding. So we're going to drop back. We have Seals Jones, and there we go. Another bad pass from Huntley. That has definitely been the theme and the trend so far this game. Bad passes from Brett Hundley. Just kind of halting our drives, and so we'll come out spread shotgun here, going to drop back, and we have nobody. There's Seals Jones, got it to him just in time, throwing out of the sack, but it was only for a pickup of 4. Brett Hundley looked like he was about to flash the Superman there. I was going to say, don't do that, brother. Maybe you'll turn into Superman and bring us back from this 21-0 score, but you ain't done nothing yet, so don't go pulling that Superman quite yet. 3rd and 6 now. Gonna drop back. We have just nobody. That's a good pass. Brett Hundley threaded the needle on that one. I gotta say, that was a dangerous throw, but Brett Hundley was able to put it just where it needed to be. And Ricky Seals-Jones converts a really, really big third down that probably would have effectively ended this game maybe, even though it's only the third quarter. Pollard going to get it again, going to kick this thing to the outside, and only able to pick up about 2. Pollard had a really nice outside run. They picked up about 40 on it, I want to say. That was about our one bright spot of this otherwise dismal game. 2nd and 8 now, going to come out shotgun, ball on the 30-yard line. And I like Wilson, just going to throw it up to him, drop it in the bucket. There's our MVP, Bo Wilson Jr. Brett Hundley dropped that thing in the bucket. That was a good pass. So maybe Huntley heard me, kind of dogging him a little bit, because that was a good one. And we really needed that because things were starting to look pretty bad for us. Gonna audible Westbrook into a little drag. We could have Bobo in the middle of the field. I don't really like anybody. And Westbrook somehow catches that. Hundley was thrown out of the sack again. Gotta convert this, man. I do like Sanu in the middle. That was a good find. Good pass from Hundley and a good find from Sanu to move the chains. Hundley now 12 for 24, I think it said, for 144, 2 picks. Xavier Howard, possibly their best player, had this. I might have to use it as the thumbnail. He had this tremendous leaping interception. We were going to Westbrook in the middle of the field and had him clean. Howard came out of nowhere and picked it. And that's a fumble from Brett. Are you kidding me? Oh, come on, man. No. Jalen Phillips, the linebacker, picked it up. Oh, my God. He just dropped it. What is this, freaking hot potato? Hundley just dropped it. I mean, I get that he was trying to pass, but it's like he just dropped it. Watch this. Watch this. But I mean, what? He's just like, nah, I don't want it. No. Oh, my good God. Brett. What are you doing, brother? This game has gone from bad to worse. 28-0. Dolphins defense, man. Hasn't even really been their offense other than Mike Gesicki. He's got 100 yards on 5 catches. But really, it's been their defense. Dolphins defense has stepped up huge. Huge in this game. They just did again there. Jalen Phillips, second-year player from Miami, the Miami Hurricane, with the scoop and the score on it. Gonna try to play fake the Dolphins here. See if we can possibly get Sanu on this play. And we had nothing. Everything was collapsing. Emmanuel Ogbah now with his 2nd sack of the game. So we might have to bring back Cam Newton. Not 100% sure on that yet because old Brady boy has not looked great in this game. Actually, he's looked terrible. We'll just call a spade a spade. He's looked bad. Dolphins, chance 2. Okay, we have Wilson. Please throw a good pass. There we go. Bobo Wilson, our MVP, just converted a huge, long third down. Needed that. I think we're going to audible this thing to Pollard. Came out. Actually, we could have. Do we do it to him? I think we do. We'll send Seals-Jones back. I know I'm wasting way too much time here. Got to do a vertical. I like Bobo Wilson. I like the coverage they're showing us. See if we can get it to him. We can. Oh, yeah. There we go. I know that took way too long. We cut that thing down to the wire, but it was a good pass. Bobo Wilson, 2nd straight catch. 1st and 10 from the 43. We're in good position. Just take the quick check down to Westbrook. He's going to juke for the 1st down. Hundley now at 200. 2 picks. Does not look good on his resume. D.D. Westbrook picking up where he left off last game. 5 for 73. So we're going to come out 1st and 10 here from the 32-yard line in some verticals. See if we can get some blocks to hold for long enough to get something down the field. I like Sanu. Throw it up to him. There's Muhammad. Perfect accuracy touch pass. That was a great play. So Alex Collins entering the game. I did kind of put him in some auto subs. I wanted to get him on the field for just a few formations at least. He's going to come out single back now. Collins just gets met in the backfield and was not able to go anywhere. 2nd and goal now. 2 minutes to go until the end of the 3rd quarter. Texans still yet to put up their first points of the game. See if we can change that now. I like Wilson. Gonna pass lead him. Freeform completion, and he stopped at the 1-yard line. All right, we are gonna pull out old reliable here. Gonna go with the old Y stick. Xavier Howard's not on Sanu, so this may be a good play here. We'll see. And I like it. I like it. There's Muhammad. All right, we got some points on the board. Still in a very tough situation, yes. 28-6, 28-7, pending the Rohrwasser extra point, which apparently is not given because he missed I think it was a 37-yarder earlier. But we'll try here. That's a good kick. And could be blocked, almost. We got the block animation there.
I swear to God. No! No! No!
Defense, gonna have to make a stand here. Haven't been on the field in quite a while since the Dolphins had that scoop and score, obviously. So Tua and the boys coming out here empty, and that's a completion to Mike Gesicki. He'll continue his great day. Could be a run to Mostert. With the motion, it probably will be, or a fake. It is a run to Mostert, and Clinton Dix is there to wrap him up, but not until the chains were moved. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter. It's been a tough one. Been a tough one for these Cupcake Texans. We are out passing Tua somehow, probably because he hasn't been on the field all that much. He hasn't needed to be. But yeah, it's been a tough one. 28-7, certainly not over. But we're going to need our defense to show up, just like they did in that Commanders game. And we need them to show up now. Now or never. Now or never for the boys. And there's Raheem Mostert getting great blocks. Troy Pride, Clinton Dix wraps him up, but it was a big gain. Got to see if we can disrupt their flow somehow. Tua single back again. Another give to Mostert, and Jeremiah Adeocho was in the backfield, and Janoris Jenkins just missed the tackle. I swear.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
Jackrabbit had him dead to rights in the backfield there, and just missed him. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it was him. I don't know if it was the Cupcake Texans. I don't know if it was the Madden gods. I don't know. But what I do know is the score's 35-7. Raheem Mostert just punched it in. Brett Hundley has not played well. Had a good drive last drive. First good drive of the game. We're going to need him to come up clutch again. Just going to check this thing down to Bobo, our MVP. Nice catch. Nice to see a good resurgence from Bobo Wilson. He has had some tremendous games this season, as you know if you've been watching. Been kind of quiet the last couple games, so it's nice to see him get a nice little resurgence. Pollard has some blockers, has some space. He's going to pick up good yards, 10 for 60. But we're kind of in the territory now where we're going to have to probably go away from Pollard because time is not on our side. We're down 4 scores. I mean, what do you really do, right? Going to dump this thing off to Seals Jones, and that's going to be a pick. There we go. Christian Kirksey, who I believe was on our team, and we cut him in episode 1, also former Brown. Just tried to lob it to Seals Jones there. It was tipped by the linebacker and falls right into the lap of Christian Kirksey. So it could be a deal sealer, if you will. Huntley now with his 3rd pick. Hasn't looked great in this game at all. Got to figure it's going to be Raheem Mostert time. Do we run commit? We might have to. As much as I don't want to, he's now at 13 for 110. and the TD. Raheem Mostert has looking like he did in that 49ers-Packers game when he put up 220 on him, and now just shaking would-be tacklers. 2nd and goal now. Tua coming out shotgun. Don't like what we came out in. Gonna switch to a blitz. Maybe shouldn't have done that. And yep, we shouldn't have. Mike Gesicki with the 2nd touchdown of the game. 41-7 is your score, guys. It has been a tough one here in Miami. And just for S's and G's, because why not? Got to mix things up here. We're going to bring in our 43 rated overall quarterback, Jake Reddick. Why not? I mean, why not? At this point, it's 42-7. Brett Hundley's played terrible. Cam Newton's played terrible. We need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. I mean, I'm going after Damon Sanders in this draft. I have to. That much is apparent to me now. But look at this kind sir trotting his way onto the field. Jake Reddick. I don't know anything about him. Never seen him play. Don't know what college he went to. Wasn't paying attention there on the good old depth chart. But he's coming in. Gonna drop back. Gonna throw it up to Sanu. Not a good throw. Jake Reddick, number 7. Gonna try to lead his boys. Gonna try to mount a comeback. The most epic comeback of all time. Can he do it? Hell no, he can't do it. But it's gonna be fun to watch him try. He might get destroyed back there. He's gonna throw it to Seals Jones. His windup is so slow, man. Oh my God, that is laughable. Xavier Howard now with 3 picks. His windup is like slow motion, man. Look at that. Oh yeah, you're coming out, buddy. Jake Reddick, I've seen enough. I have seen enough.
Where's the love I was promised as I told them from above?
Bruh.
Cam Newton, you're going back in, man. You're getting your chance to prove yourself.
Ready.
You can prove yourself in this game. If I'll tell you what, Cam, I'll give you a challenge here.
3, 4.
Somebody challenge Raheem Mostert, please. Cam Newton, if you can find the ball into the end zone, if you can put up some points, I'll let you start next week against Cleveland. How about that? Final score of this game needs to be 49-14 or 49-21 or something like that, but 49-14. We can't let the Dolphins score again, and I just want to score once. That's all I want. Going to check down to Westbrook. Good way to just hang on to that after a pickup of 6. Cam going to come out shotgun here. Might be able to get Sanu on a quick slant. Maybe Seals Jones. I do like Sanu. Nice catch. Mohamed Sanu having a good game. He is definitely having a good game. That's for sure. Haven't seen that in a while from Sanu. Sanu's having a pretty good game. Westbrook's having a pretty good game. Pollard's having a decent game, but we kind of had to stop going to him. Cam going to drop back here. I like Wilson. That was a bad throw. We probably had Wilson there breaking, but it was a bad throw from Cam, which we know all about, right? So coming out empty here in the shotgun. Going to put Sanu on a little drag. Could have Pollard. I don't like anybody. And that's almost a pick again. We just had nobody open downfield. Just going to try to see if we can get Pollard here on this little cutback route. We're probably going to have instant pressure, but we'll see. I actually like him. Hang on to that, Tony. Tony Pollard, big conversion. Cam starting out 3 for 5 in this thing for 35 yards. At this point, I just want to score again to make this scoreboard look a little more admirable. So not really in any rush here. Going to be a screen to Pollard. Pollard has no blocks whatsoever. Big number 92, Zach Sealer, 4-year player from Fresno State, in there to make the tackle. We just had nothing. No time to really operate. So we have a chance to put up some points and make the scoreboard a little bit more respectable. So let's do that. D.D. Westbrook, open in the middle. Cam finds him. Cam Newton, remember, man, all you got to do is score and you'll be our starter next week. You can do this. I have faith in you, good sir. Give me a reason. Give me a chance. Give me a chance to put you back in. Give me a reason to put you back in, and I will. I promise you, buddy. I will. First and goal here. 1.5 minutes to go. Cam gonna drop back. Just gonna check this down to D.D. Westbrook. D.D. gets close. 5 yards away. Game almost over now, 1 minute to go. I like, we could have Westbrook on a little drag here, possibly. I like it. Fit it in there, Cam. Cam Newton. All right, Cam. This is your chance right here. We're going to give you a chance to start next week against Cleveland. I know you can Y-stick this thing to Sanu. 30 seconds left. The most epic finish to a blowout game that you've ever seen, I promise. We're going to let this thing tick all the way down to 1 second. We're going to convert this to Sanu, hopefully. And Cam Newton will start next week. Let's do it. I like it. Nope. But still a chance, though. Still a chance, Cam. Got all the faith in the world in you, buddy. 4th and goal. 1 yard line. Cam drops back. I like JoJo Nats, and he catches it. Yes. The Akron man catches it. Cam Newton will get a chance to start at Cleveland next week. Even though this game was a blowout, 49-14, probably going to be your final score. It will be. Even though this game was a blowout, there's some good takeaways. There's some good takeaways, and that's okay. We may have gotten a little spoiled with these last few games. Remember, we are a 69 rated Cupcake team, but the Commanders game, we won that, obviously. The Giants game, we forced OT. You know, we might have got a little bit spoiled with some of these games and being close in them. Don't forget, our team still sucks. So there's your final. Not a pretty game at all, but Dolphins are a good team. They have a good offense, but what really showed up in this game wasn't even the offense so much. It was the defense. Defense came up clutch. Xavier Howard had, I think, 3 picks. They were in the backfield constantly, whether it be pressure and Hundley, Cam Newton. We had 300 passing yards, so I mean, not terrible. 5 interceptions, that's bad. Second highest of the game of the year. I think we had 8 against LA. Brett Hundley played terribly. 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. Jake Ruddick 0 for 2. He got his 1 chance at fame and he blew it. Cam Newton came in and orchestrated a drive to ultimately give us our second score of the game. Raheem Mostert tore us up. Tony Pollard, 6 yards per carry. Unfortunately, we weren't really able to go to him too much because we constantly needed big conversions, big yardages. D.D. Westbrook goes over 100 for the second time in a row. That's good. Mike Gesicki tore us up. Mohamed Sanu, 7 for 92. Bobo Wilson got some action as well. Our defense did absolutely nothing. I do not think that Quincy Roche will get his dev tray upgrade. Let's just double check that. He will not. You know, what can I say, guys? I mean, we're going to have games like that, right? We've already had them. We've gotten a little bit comfortable with some of these close games we played. And how about that? Cam Newton gets an upgrade. All right, Cam. There you go, man. We're going to upgrade strong arm, get him 1 overall higher. 65 true overall, playing down 1 to the morale, probably because he was benched. But yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know what to say. That was we'll view our message, breakout player. It's probably going to say Quincy Roche, this team sucks. That wasn't the elite performance I was hoping for. It's not for lack of effort, I promise you that. I don't know, man. Maybe it's the scheme, the play calling, I don't know. I don't know either, but I can tell you that we did not call your name once that game. So how about that, Mr. Roche? But anyways, we fall to 3-8. So back in the L category. We got a very tough stretch coming up. We got Cleveland, we got Dallas, and we got Kansas City. Stock up on the Vaseline. I know I am, because we're going to need it. We are just going to get probably destroyed in some of these games, but who knows? Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. We got a closer look at the draft class. Some interesting prospects. We got blown out by Miami, but you know, it is what it is. I still had fun with it. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Shout outs to my man Clinton Dix, retired today. We're going to keep your legacy going in this Cupcake franchise, my friend. But until next time, I will catch you then. Peace.